Welcome to Grow Groups at Port City. I'm so glad you decided to join us this week. We're nearing the end of our semester before we take our Christmas break, but we have a few weeks left. This week was kind of an in-between week as we finished the 1 Timothy series last week, or the week before last, and then we're moving into our Christmas series next Sunday. We talked a little bit about 5 years from now. Where do you want to be in your spiritual journey, in your life, with your family or your circle of influence? Where do we want to be as a church? What impact do we want to have? If God gives us another 5 years, what would that look like? Because oftentimes we dream of the future, but we never put a plan in place on how to get there. And so we just wanted to take a moment and reflect. We started by looking at David toward the end of his journey when his soldiers, his men, told him he needed to stay home because they were afraid that he was going to get hurt or killed on the battlefield, and therefore it discouraged the nation. And how it must have been a challenging moment, but yet at the time a moment to reflect back at all that was accomplished. Paul in 2 Timothy does the same thing with his disciple Timothy when he says, I'm about to die. My execution is at any moment. But I have fought the fight. I have run my race. And I have kept the faith. If 5 years was all we had left, if 5 years was all that you had left, what would need to happen? What would you want to do? What would you want to be able to look back and see so that you could say, after the great men tell you to take a back seat and to sit on the porch of life because your life is about to be over, what would need to happen for you to be able to say, I fought the good fight. I ran my race and I have nothing left to give. I've given it all for my King, Jesus. And I've kept the faith. I've not been perfect, but I've kept the faith. I know if I sit down and begin to ask those questions, I can begin to make list after list after list. And so what I want to encourage our grow groups to do and our members to do, those who belong to Port City, is to just take some time over the next week or two and ask what needs to change in my life. What do I need to do in my life, and what do I need to do at Port City so that if 5 years from now, that's the end for me, I could be able to look at life and look at my children, my friends, my grandchildren, my partners here at the church, and say, dude, I fought the fight. I've run the race, and I've kept the faith. And to be ready at any moment to step into tomorrow, or to step into the tomorrow and step into the great beyond, if you will, or step into the presence of Jesus, knowing that you've run the race and you've kept the faith. I want to challenge us just as we get ready for this Christmas season. This Sunday, December the 2nd, starts the season of Advent. Advent means we're waiting. And we kind of look back at the waiting for the coming of the Messiah. But we're also in a season of Advent as we wait for the return of Jesus as conquering King. As we go through this season of Advent. Sorry. And we think of hope, love, joy, and peace. If he were to come back during this Advent season, have you fought the fight? Have you run your race well? And have you kept the faith? And let us make the adjustments necessary to be able to make that statement with the same confidence that the Apostle Paul made in 2 Timothy chapter 4. Wrestle with these things. And then join us this Sunday at 10:30 as we're at South High School and we kick off the season of Advent with a sermon series, Love Broke Through. Hope to see you there. God bless.